Finally my update with how to make a chatelaine.
Welcome to Johanna's History. These are the tools and items that I need to make my chatelaine. You will need pliers, needle nose pliers or ordinary pliers. It's a preference. You can use whatever works for you. And you need a cutter to cut stuff, of course. These are pieces of earrings that I have taken apart and use again. I need some chains, I need some hooks, and I also have my spoon that I bent to use as a skirt hook. Or if you think that is a bit much, you can use just a little hook like this one instead. You have to choose what you make your chatelaine of. I have chosen here some earrings that have the feeling or history that I like, and I bought these at AliExpress. I will try to give you a link in the description where I bought this and perhaps give you some codes for buying cheaper. Modern jewelry often have these hooks that are hooked into a ring, and they are on the jewelry. So you need to take your plier and bend it carefully to the side so you can unhook it from the ring that is attached to the jewelry. And if you manage to break it, you have to take another piece because you need those hooks whole. So take your pliers again and gently bend it back so that it forms a ring. It might take quite a lot of force, but try to be gentle. And if it's still open a bit, you can still, as gentle as you can, push it together so it forms a ring. And I will do that on all those pieces. When you're making a chatelaine or some other historical pieces, you have to do some research to find what can work and not work. And what I usually do is that I take a look at museums like Victoria and Albert. Here we have two examples of chatelaines that have chains that are decorative, and I will try to make something that does not look like those, because I'm making these from things that I have found, but I try to make it have the feeling of the historical. So when I have adjusted all of these hooks on the jewelry, I will try to continue the design. And I have decided that I want to put one of these drops in the middle of my piece here. So this drop has one of those hooks built in. So I just put it on the little sort of ring that is built in the piece. And I think this looks better with the drop in the space that is made by these earring pieces than without. So I will continue and put the other drop on as well. So I here have some rings, and the one I'm holding is a little larger than the other ones I had, but you can make that do by cutting down a few millimeters from the larger ring, and there you come with a handy tool to cut it. And here we had the sound before, but it didn't work, so I have to do this voiceover instead. Well, since this ring is very out of shape, I need to bend it to shape. Sometimes it takes some force and persistence. Take the ring and open it, and when you open it, you shouldn't open it away from itself, but you take the ring and bend it sideways. This way it's easier when you are then trying to close it again. So you put your pieces, make sure that they are in the same direction. Take another plier and hold one side and try then to bend it together again. And try to make it as close as you can. If it's a little bit open, you can force it together like you did with the hooks on the earrings before. And here we have the first part of our chatelaine chain. I will do the same with the other piece. On this spoon, I have decided to have the handle side to the front and the spoon side to the back, so I have made my hole in the handle. And I take another of these rings, and this time I have a little larger ring, and put it into the hole. And then I take the piece of chain and make sure that the decorative side is the same side as the decorative side on the spoon, so they have the same side up, sort of. And here we have the first piece done, and then we do the same with the middle. And with internet magic we're done here as well. This piece is my piece with the, I will put the chains on the chatelaine on, and we have 5 rings that I can put the chains on, so I have 5 chains and 5 hooks to the chains. So first I have to put a ring to fasten the chain to the chatelaine. It's a bit fiddly, but just take it carefully and easy and you can do it. And then close the ring like before. So the first chain is fastened, and make sure that the ring is fully closed so the chain can't fall off. And then we have to take on our hooks. And you take another ring, open it up, thread on the hook, and then take the end of the chain and thread it on as well. And again close the ring. When I took the ring to make this part of the chatelaine, I noticed that I had missed that I need to have rings on both sides of the chain. So I have to make 5 more rings. And the way I do it is I usually take a hat pin, because they are quite easy to get hold on, quite sturdy, and not that expensive. So I take my needle nose plier, I bend the hat pin around the needle nose pliers so I get a ring, and depending on where you put the rings on it, that decides which size of rings you make. So I try to take it around 2 or 3 times, and then I take my cutter and cut them open. If you have a little saw for jewelry making, that is also quite a good use, but I only have the cutter, and you can make do with that. It might take a little trial and error, and if your cutters are not that strong, perhaps you need to do it quite a lot like this, but a little bending and a cutting and you get your rings. And usually I get, like I said, 2 or 3 rings from one of these hat pins. But it's not that difficult to do. It takes a little force, but it's okay. So here I have my ring, and I put it on one of the clasps here, and then you can close it so you have it for future use. But this time I'm going to use it immediately, so I have to open it again and put a chain on it and then close it. So that's what's happened when you a little frazzled that you made a mistake, but you can always get back and do it right. So continue to put the chains on the chatelaine, and it's the same process. Take the ring and close it. Make sure that it doesn't fall loose. Here we have the chatelaine with the chains on now. So it's time to put it on the chain on the skirt hook. So I start to put on a ring, and then I notice that the ring on my piece here is on the other way than the piece I'm going to attach it to. And that means that if I take it just with the ring, one ring here, it will not be straight, but it will be on the side. So what I need to do to make this hang as straight as possible is make another ring. So I have 2 rings to attach it with, and I don't need it as large as I made the last ones. I can use this little piece by making the ring, cutting it, and then I can attach it. And I want to have a small ring here because the larger the ring is, the bigger the gap, and I don't want that large of gap between my chatelaine piece here and the chain for the chatelaine. So I need to close it and make sure that it is not open, and then I can take my next ring and attach that to the chain. And what you want to do here is make sure that the decorative sides are in the same direction. Something that is easier said than done, because here I managed to make it the wrong way around. But I will do this again and make sure that it is in the right place. For those that were very eagle-eyed, you saw that it was the wrong way in the first picture of this video. But here we have it now straight. Internet magic again. These chains are quite long, and that is so you can easy take it up and look at a watch if you have it or something. But I can also make it a little more difficult because it can get a bit tangled. To use your chatelaine, you take your hook and you put it over your skirt like this. And as you see, it is not so easy, so it will not fall off in the first place. And then you have a chatelaine that will stay in place and keep your things handy. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give me a like or a subscribe or both. And well, I found that my tripod has a magnet. That was the blooper here, and here you see that it was not in the right direction. Well, internet magic. Well, if you like this, I hope to see you again, and I hope it will not take as long time to do a new video like it did this time. I have another few ideas to make videos as well, so hopefully I hear from you soon, or you hear from me soon rather. Goodbye.